Welcome to our lovely future humans and our 5D collective. To those who do know, knowledge, it empowers you just as an intelligent mind does. Ignorance, on the other hand, enslaves you just as a mediocre mind does. And as we've been discussing, the societies who are influenced by anyone, well, I'm going to read to you. We do forgive, we do love all of our brothers and sisters equally, but there is that quiet grief that many of us will carry. The integrated brain, the restorative embodied, the self-aware, accountable, regulating person who knows how to be themselves, whether you're with God or science. And so spiritual, mystic, mindful, science, they all come together. Woo, pseudoscience, yes, because I do know who actual academics are and good experts. And actual is because of the, they can wear a title, but real talk, people who don't try to manipulate you and who actually try to educate you. Very different than the ones who are continuing with mass delusion, but they won't call it delusion. They're just going to continue thinking that they are correct, like the people who think they're the better children of God by staying away from every city and not taking children to hospitals and stuff like that. So there is a quiet grief. I'm going to read to you. Many of us carry the grief of never truly knowing the real you of our brothers and sisters, our loved ones, all of God's children. By the way, there's no devil in anyone, no demon. So God's perfection resides in every person, the seed of enlightenment. Sadhguru, thank you for that quote. And as Jesus pointed out, the kingdom of God, heaven is within you. Yes. And as scientists point out, every body is looking to get there. But sometimes the stories of the minds of people who are deluded by their own imagination, yes, adapt the child part people. So we leave it alone. Some people won't want to gain full access to themselves, so we grieve that we won't get to know the real them, but we will get to know the fake them, like my facade friend. And that's because he doesn't have full access to his body, he doesn't have full access to himself, and he doesn't have full access to two sides of the brain. And so I get to meet the facade, which is a 16-year-old version with a 3-year-old broken heart and core wounds that will never get healed, but the maladaptive patterns of behavior begin by the time you're an adolescent. So you get to meet, again, those basically teenage grown-up versions of people who 3D, 4D is what I call them. You can only explore your body-mind connection when you actually have access to your body. And access requires regulation. And as Basil Vanderkolk points out, those who don't know how to, you can't talk sense to them. And them not knowing how to means that they don't know how to. And some people choose not to go to therapy. So through integration, on the other hand, you begin using your mind in service of your emotional and physical self, not against it. Therefore, you're also not manipulable because you don't fall for any of the masses, nor the delusion, nor the ancient stories. That is where we will consistently grow a true relationship with yourself, being yourself, smart, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. Your 0-1-year-old is yours, and so you don't have a default mode network where you're helpless or hopeless, and that's because it's integrated bilateral, vertical overall. That's where Peter Levine comes in as you contain CBAM, sensations, images, behaviors, affects, meanings. Dr. Daniel Siegel comes in as you own the sense of self when you have all the domains integrated of your brain and whatnot. And he talks about the mind, the brain, and the body in amazing ways. So when you are a securely attached, non-traumatized person, you are no longer driven by unresolved trauma. They're also called trauma charges, which is instead where the mass delusion people, they hang out together and do what they can. God doesn't ever give you more than what you can handle. He definitely doesn't want any of children of his to be alone. And those of us who do know that heaven is in the body, and that means living your A game, it's easy to tap into being yourself the smart way. Stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable for some of us. Others, it's hard work with a good therapist, DMDR, child part systematics, and then they choose, I want more, and to get to the easy, like this. It's curious. Krishna, Leela, Shiva, Kali, all Enlightenment Soul Age group. I use all different words as a mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, and that's where we also have different Soul Age groups, FYI. When a person becomes securely attached, therefore, they are no longer driven by unresolved trauma. Their body-mind connection is active, alive, responsive, not reactive. And that's because we have the capacity to self-regulate within our nervous system. So from this place of self-regulation in our ventral vagal state, we choose equanimity, as we know, discernment. So we choose to stay calm and centered. We choose compassion without compliance. I will meet you where you're at. Be saluted. I won't shame you because I don't have to. Also, shaming you won't get you to a therapist, which is something this human being to this day doesn't want, as many others who don't notice that they are actually continuing to do what Patrick Tiahan pointed out with people who have low self-esteem, indirect communication, passive-aggressive, and their maladaptive patterns are all over the place. So we, with our integrated brains and self-regulation skills, know discernment, which is why we also know emotional maturity and spot the immature ones. We also know emotional depth, and we're not going to reject those who already at their core wounds are fearing and feeling abandoned, rejected, shamed, all of it, and not healing it. So God's children, again, they're all perfect. And as Jesus taught, forgive for they don't know. And that's right, as Stephen Porges points out, we forgive because biologically rude people can't physically hold space for us. And so it's not a pity party that you're having for them. It's the respect and the awareness of it takes a person to acknowledge, I want to go gain access to my body with a good therapist. And then once they have access to the body, they'll have access to the full self and so on and so forth. So when you will hear phrases like this, explore your body-mind connection, activate your body's innate healing intelligence, learn tools for emotion and physical transformation. Yes, this is for people unwilling to do the real work. These phrases are what is called smoke and mirrors. And then again, they actually will think of me as smoke and mirrors or whatever. Basically, you're the bullshit. Sure I am. I've seen people ask for shortcuts of integration as they were explained very clearly and with very good explanation how it works. You don't buy the beanstalk from Jack's, the beanstalk. Basically, if I'm told mathematically how integration works and how the embodied brain works, and I am a human who's logical, I will understand that there's a cellular process. And, what I also understand is God never gives you more than what you can handle. But furthermore, trauma charges are stored in bones, muscles, tissues. When people want to deny an explanation, it tells me I have a child in a room who's a teenage virgin who just heard something they didn't like. So it's like if I'm told you have to do this because this is for your health. I'm going to do the diet. Yeah, we're doing the diet. Oh my God, we want our health. That's how my ego worked with its 24 hours basically being dictated by a nutritionist who's given me a diet, which is working fabulously wonders. So when you're an immature human being who doesn't want your health, yeah, I have nothing for you. It's not a devil. It's not a demon. It's actually explainable. Stephen Porges, he immediately knows why the words, he's asking therapists to remember, when somebody is mobilized in defense mechanism, they come up with elaborate stories. We got so many books out there, so much imagination. You better bet there's elaborate. I've seen it, the 3D, 4D. They're doing amazing. And we get to make fun of Peter Pan with Wendy and the Lost Boys, and they're also on Pinocchio's Island. And that's because I do have a heart, but at the same time, I mean, come on, we all want a little bit of humor, but also really, do you watch movies? Just walk outside, watch the movies, and then go to YouTube, and there you go. It's just, like to educate, entertain, personal growth, spiritual growth. You do that one-to-one. Right now, we're just having a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Get ready for 2026. I'm getting ready right now. So real transformation, you know where it happens? Yeah, it happens in therapy. That's why. So somebody who's saying, learn tools for emotional and physical transformation, activate your body's innate healing intelligence, explore your body-mind connection. You know why it's bullshit to a person who knows exactly how this works? Your body ain't connected if you don't know how to use your innate healing intelligence, meaning your ventral energy, which that's how 3D, 4D responds to anyone who's always happy. It's not always happy. It's called that I'm in a good mood because I can self-regulate. And learning tools for emotion physical transformation makes me think you don't know how to be yourself, or that you need some fancy word to transform that which is called your basics. And so it's like, there's teenagers making it sound fancy. You want a reward for doing something normal. Oh, wait, it's not normal. Is it normal? Can we use the word normal? That's right. So every person's mammalian heritage. We all have it. That's why, to me, it's the average bear. I'm an average bear. Normal means that we can self-regulate. Those who are not self-regulating will not notice. EMDR, child parts work, and somatic therapies are explicitly focused on body-mind integration. They all don't like the modern-day therapist. I wonder why. No, I don't. So when somebody is, again, deciding that they're going to fall for the other shit, they're not really deciding it because they're not knowing what they're buying. But when they want to say self-help is bullshit and atomistic is pseudoscience crap, sure I am. Yes, that's fine with me because at least I have integrity, which is what I know. I know what I'm offering. Personal growth, spiritual growth to the people who want it, not to the people who pretend to know what they're talking about. As they just randomly use their mouth to speak words with the left brain that doesn't notice that they're not in harmony with the right. So yes, the real transformation therapists, I tip my hat and honor all of them, the good ones. They're skilled, they're ethical, they anchor in ventral energy, as Deb Dana tells all of her therapists. They want this from you. No, they need this because they didn't get to have a self-regulating body. They need you anchored in ventral energy. They need, like Pat Ogden will point out, you not to judge the narcissist as good or bad, but to remember that the narcissist came about to defend and protect. So those who have chosen to help people, if they're good therapists, they will commit to good therapy. If they're ones who just want to wear a title, well, every one of us can have a title. My name's Maria. That's my most favorite title of all. Mystic, mentor. I use those to try and give you the gist of what I get to do. But I like the content creation and the digital product part because, mentorship, it's for the ones who are actually looking forward to bringing forth their A game more and more, which I've seen a bunch of grown human beings from high school to now not want to do that which is called something easy, open-ended inquiry, with that which is called curiosity when you get to cry, when you get to get angry, when you get to get afraid. And yeah, the panic attacks are the most annoying, that's for sure. But every other emotion, surprise, happiness, disgust, pretty easy. That's how easy it is to work with an emotional body. So people who are securely attached and untraumatized don't find it hard to feel all of them. And when we're disgusted, it's someone getting off of my panic attacks. That's disgusting. Someone in college telling me that they're miserable, but they fucked. No, that's not disgusting. That's more like sad and telling them don't do it because you still feel lonely, more lonely than before, and STDs, like really? And then to become a germaphobe, that's exaggerated. So, common sense is what I'm going to use as a word, but the ones who don't want EMDR, chop arts work, or somatic therapy, they really don't use words the same way. And so with that, sometimes it'll take many years for people who do go to therapy to get transformed, but they're not transforming. Well, the transformation is because they reclaim their open-hearted spontaneity, and that's the real integration. And that's amazing when you see someone who's like, I'm at 7 years, they said 10 or 12. That's what we like to see. God's children, the ones who accept with their own free will that which is a process that I know nothing about because I didn't lose access to my body. That's why I'm an empowered feminine, and I'm an empowered masculine because I didn't lose access to my left and my right working together. And my corpus callosum works really great, and they don't fight at each other because I wouldn't fight. I got plenty of playtime. I got a twin, so I know what it's like to have fights like cats and dogs and then to repair. I didn't really realize that people know how to fight and make up, but no, I forgot. Yeah, that's a whole other story. So people with dopamine hit, that's where they're not fighting and making up the way I'm talking about it. They're in fantasy stages, and that's pseudo-aliveness. It's all Diego's family from Ice Age, the very toxic ones that are going to carry that baton. So let's leave that alone. But anyways, the people who know the real transformation happens in therapy, again, the length of the process differs for each person, but there are no shortcuts. So when embodiment is refused, you don't get an intelligent society, you get a manipulable one, which is why I'm personally not surprised at 3D40. Advanced, the word in and of itself becomes a hollow word, which is why I actually found it humorous when I heard the phrase, we confuse, I don't, but some confuse technological novelty with human maturity. It's like, okay, with basically actually advanced, the word. That's what advanced means, that you would know what the fuck you're doing. Technological advancement, well, let me think, a wheel and a computer, sure, very interesting. They're not really fundamentally different. Yes, if the mind that is using them ignorant, mediocre, dysregulated, driven by herd mentality, driven by all of the basically distortion that their trauma charge is, being scared of neutrality because you think someone's always hiding something behind the back. So yeah, I'm just going to let you know, it's funny. No, it's not, but yes, it is. From flat earth movements to groups of scientists to declare themselves superior while refusing open debate. Yeah, this is not intelligence. I'm not going to do her this. My colleagues are against me. That's not a scientist. These scientists are right. Those are wrong. Wow, really? Really? You want to do that? That's amazing. No, it's not. Oh, so true scientists, researchers, educators, and wise adults. They face colleagues, scrutiny, disagreement, and complexity. And they laugh. We always laugh. There's no like, oh my God, I have a chip on my shoulder. The last time I had a chip on my shoulder, I forget how old I was. I'm like, okay, come on. Meaning, get over yourself. Like, it's not a big deal. That's how it works when you're like, yeah, intelligent minds. We know exactly what it means to accept ourselves. And then, like I said, I don't grieve not being seen. I see me. I soothe me. I save me. I secure. Save, really. Dark matter, dark energy don't implode. I don't need an asshole to look at me and be actually aware of who I am because I am actually A 3-year-old who said, "You can't spank me," is in my body. So I'm just used to people liking to talk over each other. And that's why I have fun with it. There are no shortcuts, again, to body-mind connection. It doesn't happen magically. Oh, it happens when a person chooses nervous system sovereignty. Check. When they choose a securely attached, non-traumatized life, and so resilience through restorative embodiment. That's our choice. And those who refuse full self-access, they will refuse body-mind integration and higher human potential. They will remain trapped in mediocre minds and mediocre lifestyles. I mean, really, it's hilarious. I don't even know if I would use the word mass delusion, just because there's a bountiful of different groups who said that's disrespectful. And I think they're addicted to pseudo-aliveness. They're addicted to torturing themselves. They're addicted to that which hurt themselves as child. I don't know. Like, that's, you're asking a child to respect that someone wants to ignore the fact that they're betraying the 0-8-year-old. Yeah, I still have the little girl in my mind's eye who's physically endangered due to the fact that there are those who don't know forgiveness, grace, or who God is. And in my mind's eye, I think if she one day wanted to kill me due to the fact that she's going to become potentially a mass murderer, I know who to blame. It's called the grown-ups who aren't wise adults, who have nothing of advance, let alone do they have anything of faith in the book of a person who knows who God is. So that's how I feel about those who are not evil. They are cowards. And they continue to be so. And when I think of advanced, yeah, society isn't advanced if they don't have the people that are intelligent minded. Because when you get explained what a non-bilaterally integrated brain looks like and how they'll be, I'm doing great, oh, look at me, I'm so healthy. No, you're about to die of a heart attack, you're not healthy. But let me not tell you that. I would never, because it's when I'm here that I can tell you the funny story. In the presence of them, I co-regulate with them. It's not because they dumb me down. It's that I'm respectfully respecting different choices. That's how it's called. It's basically, I want more scientists around me, smart ones. Neil deGrasse, where are you? Bill Nye, come on over. That's where I'm a mystic. I'm okay with them talking to me, making fun of me. They can do all that they want, because my mystic spiritual experience isn't for them to actually welcome. I live it, like the teenage boyfriend who said, you only have faith because you're afraid of death. No, I don't want to die. Yes, I am afraid of death, but it's not because I'm afraid of it. I like living. I actually like breathing. If I die right now, I'm sad. Does that mean everybody else will be sad? I can accept that no one else will be sad, but you know what? I have loved ones. I think they'll be sad, but I wouldn't want them to be sad. I would want them to celebrate my life, and that's actually how you'd feel. And no, I wouldn't want them to grieve and then get depressed and get all and throw their life away. No. So when you are pure consciousness, pure energy, pure consciousness, Purusha, Shiva, the masculine element, Prakriti, Shakti, the pure energy, your 3-year-old's your pure energy. That's why it's humanly speaking, if you accept that you're human in flesh. No, we don't become it. I saw this thing about people thinking that achieving to become God is something that will make you a high achiever. No, you dressing yourself up as if you are God, and the entity in and of itself makes me aware that you're still on the shame spectrum, and means you're ashamed of being human. And that means that you didn't welcome yourself. And so you have a break with humanity, which is why you're unforgiving. Not you, but that's exactly why a person who consistently will point a finger, human bad, human bad, human bad. Excuse me, are you done? We all can be bad and good. That's the whole point. Human is ignorant, and until proven otherwise, we got a bunch of masses that are continuing with the ignorance, which is why I laugh at every single one of them, because I'm like, seriously, high five Buddha. Buddha's high-fiving me. He usually makes fun of me. Hey, Jesus, high five. God's smiling too. And so they give me cues when I'm doing okay. And then Jesus sometimes will stare. And then Buddha will laugh at me more when I'm not figuring out the enlightenment. God just tells me not to judge my brothers and sisters of human suffering, a waste of my fucking time. He knows I'm getting the hang of it. So, yes, no shortcuts. Body-mind connection doesn't happen with magic, even though I do believe in magic. But I also believe in science. No, science explains magic. Magic sometimes happens. Sometimes we don't have the explanation. And if science explains it, it's not confusing. Only for the ones who have lack of bilateral integration, which is my facade friend. He called me a hypocrite because he doesn't know how to use two sides of his brain. Like someone else said, excuse me, you confuse and find spirituality, and I had fun with it. No, I'm not. So the ones who will refuse self-access, that's okay. They lack self-regulation skills. They lack self-awareness. They lack self-accountability. They cling to dysregulated embodiment. Yes, pseudo-aliveness, low dopamine hits. Fantasy narratives, don't get me started on that one, and endless good versus evil battles inside their minds and outside, and then you get to watch as they continue to do that. This keeps suffering familiar, it keeps the emotionally immature ego intact, and it keeps people bonded to other unintegrated child part driven adults who mirror the same limitations. Not to mention wedding bells. No, no, you're fucking trash now. They they call to each other. Do you know why? Mm-hmm. I don't need a story. So when you have child parts and these insecurities, the scientists do really great at explaining how your core wounds, your unfinished business. That's why it's personal growth when you're doing it with Terry Real and a couple and a family or Patrick Chan. Otherwise, it's just people playing out their 0 8-year-old with non metabolized trauma. That's all Pat Ogden. Thank you. She doesn't explain it this way I am. So that's why when I see children playing mean, I don't do anything. I just need to leave it alone. It's more like Tom and Jerry. I have new stories due to the fact that they actively don't see themselves. I once saw a very specific act which disgusted me, and it's a subconscious one. And what I get to instead hear from these groups of people is, why me? Why me? All men, all women, all this. It's like, okay, that's not it. It's actually the insecure core wound that has not been healed yet. A therapist would help you get over it, but I see that you don't think you need one. When you tell someone there's no energy vampires and they look at you like this, but they're in therapy, which is good, you say, look, once you're done with therapy, come back around. You'll have owned your sense of self with everything integrated, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about, because now you'll know self-regulating when you're in the presence of others where you're co-regulating with them. And that means you're picking up on their shit, and yeah, it's not their shit, it's just that they're in a low frequency. Dr. Daniel Siegel helped me. He's like, differentiate more, Maria. Okay, I'll do that. It works. It works like a charm. It's not, I don't go out because I read a room and there's energy vampires around. I need to cut a cord. No. It's I differentiate and self-regulate and continue to do so. It's really working wonders. And so, with that being said, they will definitely mirror each other's insecurities, each other's stories. Wendy has Peter Pan, Lost Boys, and, Pinocchio's Island. And that's pretty much very funny. Yeah. So it's not self-help that isn't effective. It's not pseudoscience that is bullshit. Some people don't know how to be intelligent because they chose to disregard the very one thing they wake up in every morning, their thoughts. Like Lisa Feldman Barrett will point out, the mind keeps account. Basil Vanderkolk will tell you the body keeps a score. Peter Levine will tell you if you can contain it, that's great. Now we got a window of tolerance that can be expanded, a window welcome. As Dr. Daniel Siegel will point out, it's only once you're fully integrated that you'll be able to use these thoughts. Otherwise, you're going to make sense of shit without owning anything. And he doesn't use words this way. I'm integrating a bunch of smart-ass human beings who I learn from. And I can't fuck up the data. So just remember that. Integration. It is not glamorous. It's amazing, but for me. But it's not glamorous for the ones who need to get there first. It's hard work. It's honest, yeah, with oneself and others. And it is the foundation of real freedom, as is beautiful to know, you know what, when I go to sleep at night, I have a clear conscience. I have that, which is called integrity. And when I do something wrong, like a child will, I'll feel guilty. And the only time I ever played with my mouth in a way that would wield my sword, as Maria knows how to play her. If I wanted to, I could play my mouth in so many different ways. But I don't, because that's a cheap shot. That's a coward. Cowards play with their words in ways that are completely dishonest. But you know what? I didn't realize that the only reason those cowards do so is because they're treated like little pieces of shit. So, when I meet a little piece of shit, quote unquote, they're not a piece of shit. I mean, deserve to be saluted, told me how they felt, and they were upset at being rejected by some other random human being. I had nothing to do with it. You know, I get all pissy in my pants. Did you think anyone said, oh, great job, you're sovereign? No, it was, you could get in his face, you could give him a pat on the back. Did you say it right? Because you say things wrong. And then, I love you, mother, you know that. You didn't tell him you didn't like him, did you? I taught you better. No, I didn't. So when a woman decides that she has to be a fucking bitch because there's a bunch of morons around you, because that's how it feels, that's it. It's not because I am like, oh my God, let me pity you. No, I feel I'm near morons again and again. A society that's manipulable, the way that I've seen it continue to be as a kid, and I already had these words. That's why sometimes I think, you know what, Thomas Campbell, maybe you're right. Maybe it's a virtual reality, because I feel like I'm repeating myself. As a kid, I'm like, I'm not manipulable. No, because I made certain choices. And the only people who can manipulate me is because I chose to let them in, which means I will trust them. But I also learned something way back when. I will have consciously chosen to give you my trust. The minute you will have broken it, that's nothing more than another coward that is going to do nothing more than show me 5 hands of how they don't know what the fuck they want in life. That's amazing? No, which is why God keeps me away from every single one of them. God doesn't need to protect me because there's nothing that I need protection from. The ones who think the world is dangerous. Yes, dark matter, dark energy. Please don't implode. I root for you, scientists. Get the smart ones who will invest in you, because I definitely know what we need technology for. As for the ones who fear the use of it, they're the same ones who don't understand how brilliance works. Brilliance doesn't work with ignorance. It only works with intelligence. And yes, our human species makes a bunch of mistakes. So luckily, we have two sides to every coin, which is why the intelligent ones spot all of it, and then we make what we can with what we have, and then we continue to trust Akash, Source, Anima Mundi, and anything that is connected to God. You really think that God would want to scare his children? And the people who continue to think that, there's supposed to be some kind of torture, they just like their evil good stories. It's not amazing. It's quite boring. I mean, I used to like action movies for a reason. Today I just watch them because people like to watch movies, but every time I'm watching any of it, I'm like, okay, let's just, have fun with it. Come on, laugh, ego. You know you can laugh about it. Just pretend that everything is moving along. No, it is moving along. So we have the ones who do know how our society consistently moves one step at a time. What I should specify as an empowered feminine, which means you are excited like a child and with faith in humanity as our species, you are always feeling like you can't wait to see how everything plays out. And that is one thing. I am, yes, a lover of that, which is called, what is it? No, not that word. Patience. Patience is a virtue. But I get very excited. And so sometimes I'm not patient. Actually, probably I'm not patient at all, which is why I get to be reminded it's not a huge paradigm shift, Thomas Campbell. It's baby steps. So for as much as in this lifetime, there's many things that I think I would like to see. I don't know how long I'll have to live, but I know that with the scientists, all of my lovely brothers and sisters and yours will be able to choose with their free will if they want to heal. If they don't, well, it'll be sad, but it's okay. They'll be happy. They won't know what they missed out on because they don't even believe in love. They don't know it yet. They didn't learn how to self-regulate and hug their self. They didn't get to access the most amazing part of them. They didn't get to grieve in a fetal position and notice, wow, I wasn't a piece of shit ever. I just got basically the short end of the stick. So that's why I'm not angry at people because they're mean in a way of hurting my feelings. Anybody who has a sibling, or I mean, at least for me and my twin, okay, I got disowned. Effective realism, you're broken free from it. It's really great. And at the end of the day, you love people unconditionally. So it's sad that I don't get to meet them, which is selfish. See, look, we're all selfish. I don't get to meet the real you. That's the saddest thing ever. But I do like to remind myself, God never gives his children more than what they can bear. And so scientists save the day, and the spiritual ones who know all of God's children can be saved. It's great. The ones who are still thinking of the end of the world, wow, really? You want to use your time that way? Fine, go for it. I mean, there's, 24 hours. You could be doing something different. But then again, flat earthers want to continue with the earth is flat. And hey, thanks to them, maybe one day, they're going to give us something amazing. That's why you don't really want to make fun of people in a way of being mean. Doesn't mean that people won't think you're mean. But what I'm trying to get at, ignorance, not bliss. Mediocre, not bliss. Intelligence knows it. We don't make fun of people because that's the way that a spiteful, insecure human being would. That's called arrogance. It's called grandiosity. It's called that a person doesn't recognize it. So when someone's talking down to me because I'm a mystic, or when somebody's telling me that I'm confusing shit, I'm not being talked down to anymore. I'm just being told by some other human being, I know everything about you. And it's, sure you do. Dress me up. Let me look pretty, or whatever you're dressing me up. Am I a clown today? Am I a buffoon? Am I with someone with horns? What do you want me to be? So the people who like to dress people up, they forget that we have names. They dehumanize because they distance. And that's why shame and objectifying. Society is made by people, not by the objects they create. Might as well have a wheel. They didn't even use the word advanced. And then I think of Pocahontas when I watched that one, and as she pointed out, the way you're treating animals. And so anyone who's intelligent will know the honor of a hunter and a gatherer, and that's why it won't be you have to eat only meat, or you have to eat only this, or only that, or only... It's where is the honor in what you do? Where is the honor in what you carry? How dare you want to talk to me about society when you don't know how to honor the very basics? And that would be every single piece of life, animal, tree. So the ones who are lost in conspiracies, they too make me laugh because my background is humanities and social sciences. I know every bit of that, which is our timeline, although I don't remember in a way of regurgitating it. But again, a smart human being brain who knows what runs the world, meaning who's on it. It's okay. We got two groups of people, smart ones and the dumb ones. They're just not as dumb means. And they're not dangerous, because there's another thing about that, which is the dysregulated embodiment. It's called distress. It's very unfortunate business. So they can look and appear like they're not in that which is an unhealthy body. They can look and appear. That's why the narrative, that's the other part. I don't lie, and I don't sell shit. And when I know someone hasn't noticed that they don't know how to do bilateral, vertical, and overall integration, well, I know that you're not going to have any kind of results. Meaning, not thoroughly. If you want smoke and mirrors, then again. So people buy into the bullshit they want because they've decided what work they want to do and what work they don't want to do. The ones of us who don't decide what work we want to do or don't want to do, we decide what we honor, and when we choose what we're going to do, we do it well. It's called being thorough. Healthy perfectionists can tell you all about it, which is not actually something that I will say I'm upset about. I'm learning more patience when it comes to all the excitement that is to be the future. I'm still waiting to figure out some other pieces for our IHP content, so stay tuned. Come on back if you like being yourself the smart way, and have a good one.